Hello and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This is my third live and it's still nerve-wracking. But today we're going to discuss mastering the art of letting go. Why do we hold on to things that no longer serve us? Why do we cling to the past? Sometimes unable to move forward, unable to let go. Why? Who are we hurting? We'll be exploring one of the hardest spiritual shifts. Letting go. We often think letting go is about losing something. But it's actually about stopping the theft of your future. There's a lot of things that happen in life, and if we hold on to all of them, hi Cuckoo. If we hold on to all of it, we'll be weighed down. We'll be weighed down so heavy, it's unbelievable. So, letting go is about letting go of an old version of yourself, a relationship, memories that serve no purpose, or a mistake you made. Holding on too tight creates a freeze. It stops you from achieving your goals. It holds you in one place. And you want to grow. You want to spread your wings and fly. It stops you from moving forward. You will grow old in years, but still stuck where you were many years ago. Are you still holding on to the past? Holding on to the pain which now feels like a connection? Is your comfort zone actually comfortable? Or is it just familiar? If you've released the need to be perfect, what would your life look like? Are you trying to be perfect, or are you happy being just you and allowing people to accept you for who you are? Faults and all. Thank you. Why do you think we are so loyal to our suffering? What is it about the past that's so hard to move away from? If you had the courage to challenge yourself today, what is the first thing that you would drop, that you would leave behind? What weight would you let go of? What is it that's holding you still? Is there anything still holding you still? I want to give you a scenario with two different outcomes. So life has got in the way and you're grieving the person you were before a major loss or a health change. Outcome one, you spend your energy trying to get back to the person you used to be, viewing yourself as broken, and refuse to find joy in your new reality. And option two, scenario two, you still honor your old self, but realize that the broken version of you can now become a vessel to help and heal others. You can shine light in the darkest places and lead others out. Which one do you think I chose? The spiritual release is to acknowledge the weight. You cannot drop what you won't admit you are carrying. Call the pain by its name. Own it, acknowledge it, look at it, grow from it. If we don't need to look back until we know we need strength to move forward. Letting go, it's really hard. This is how people become hoarders and how, people just get stuck. A lot of emotional baggage that they need to sift through, and it feels overwhelming. But they can do it. You can do it. We can do it. And together we definitely can. So, stop the numbing, stop numbing it. Stop trying to act as if it didn't happen. It happened. So when things happen, you own it. We own it. We move forward. Because if we don't own it, how do we grow from it? How do we move forward? We act as if it didn't happen, but it will continue to haunt us until we give it its space. And I know I want to live light. I don't want to carry no more baggage. I'm sure you do too. And you reframe the spot. You letting go as clearing space for the new you, for the growth. For growth is waiting for you at the other side. The unknown is always scary, but it's possible, and we can get there, and we always do. So just keep plodding on and keep being you and keep, just realize there are people out here that are going through worse, and they're not complaining. I see so many people. I've spent the week in hospital, from one hospital to another. I've got, and then, I've got a dear friend who's lost their parents, so I have to travel. It's overwhelming, but it's necessary because there are people that you will go above and beyond for. So I do things, I assess things, and I have to address things. And I'm accountable for my journey. I'm constantly pushing growth. I'm constantly pushing people to grow as well. And I think letting go, I have to let go of so much to move forward. Otherwise, I don't think I'd make it, really. So you always assess, is it serving a purpose in my life or is it not? And if it is, then keep it. But if it's not, bless it and live it. Don't let anything that's around you make you complain, steal your joy. Peace is so hard to find. Peace is so hard to find. And there's people you just need space from. You're not going to walk away indefinitely, but you just need to walk away for now, just so that you can get to the next level. So practice micro courage. And that start by letting go of one small thing. It could be a negative thought, a grudge, old clothes. Show yourself that even though you may struggle to let go, you are more than capable. I've got some stuff I need to clear out myself, but I've started. And there are things I'm emotionally attached to that I don't want to let go. But I know I have to keep asking myself those questions as to why I'm holding on to things. Why is it so hard to let it go? When I was younger, it was so easy to throw things in a charity bag. Now I grit my teeth. It's like a tug of war with myself to do it. And so healing started with me asking questions. You ask questions, why? Why are you holding on to it? What purpose is it serving? Why is it so hard to let go? Well, healing is a form of resistance because it's healing. When we let it go, we feel so good. When we do things we never thought we could, we never thought we'd find the strength to do, we feel so good. And so, when you choose to let go of what no longer serves you, you're telling the world that your future is worth more than your history. So the history is past. It can never be repeated. I know it's easier said than done, but it can be done because it's work in progress. So you can do it. You can definitely do it. So don't let your past steal your future. You deserve to move forward. You deserve a future. You deserve a life. You deserve to be happy. There's nothing apart from your own mind that keeps you stuck, because no matter what anybody says or whatever has happened to you, it's only you and your mind that makes things. You are the one who makes the ultimate decision, nobody else. So if you believe in yourself, you will never lack and you will always grow. Hi. So yes, you will always grow. So don't steal your own future. It's your mind. The mind tells us many things, but do you have to believe them? Believe the positives when it's telling you go for this, and your fear says no. And your mind is saying do it. Then do it. Challenge yourself. It's great. Don't just be like a robot in the system. Spread your wings and fly. Reach for the stars. Do you. When the mind is telling you can't do it, challenge your mind. Find the courage to challenge your mind. And to keep going. By the way, you can ask me any question at any time. All right? So, yes. So transition from the freeze of staying stuck and hold onto the flow of moving forward. By mastering the art of letting go, you'll transform your pain into a sacred lesson rather than a permanent weight that you carry around that serves no purpose, something that's holding you back from being the person you know you should be. You know who you are. You know your worth. And you know whether you know what it takes to achieve those goals. And yes, you have to be tough. You have to believe it. And if anyone tells you otherwise, then you need to sidestep them, because if they're not motivating themselves, they're never going to motivate you. You'll never reach your destination in, having the wrong people in your. I spend a lot of time alone. Once upon a time, I used to beg for people to accept me. Now I'm running away. Now I accept myself. I don't need anyone else. I just try and help who I can. If I've got nothing good to say, then I say nothing. My love is tough, but it gets results. It gets you to where you need to be. Because I want to see everybody shine. Bright as well. Never doubt your worth, and doubt that you can let go of things that don't serve you. You can. You can. You definitely can. It's all right me saying it, but you have to believe it. And view letting go not as failure, but as fluency. It's time for the ability to speak the language of change without apology. It's your life. Live it. It's impossible to release everything at once. So please don't add pressure to yourself. That's not why I'm here. I want you to be gentle with yourself in everything that you do, because it takes time. And we are where we are, whether we like it or not. We are where we're supposed to be. And the only way we're going to get to the next level is if we're good. If we fail, it's never failure. It taught us not to do it that way again. So it's never a failure. We rise through trial and error. There's no such thing as perfect, only the word. So release what you can when you can, and show yourself some compassion. Because letting go is about removing those things hindering your progress. Letting go is about you honouring you, finally knowing who you are and what you're worth, what you deserve, putting boundaries in place, showing what you can tolerate and what you can't. Letting go is you honouring you. So remove things that really serve no purpose. And I know that I'm not for everybody, because I've had a tough life and I've had to make tough decisions, and you might think it's easy for me to say because I've done the work. You cannot get there without doing the work. There's no quick fix. There's no easy way out. It has to be done. But at least this platform's here. Anything that I can do, I will. So you're behind the screen. You can ask me anything. Any problems you have, I will try and help. I spoke to a woman today. She can barely walk. She's having problems. I help to problem solve. Because alone, we feel overwhelmed sometimes. But, here, I'll thank you. Thank you for being here. Libs, Capri, my sister. Yeah. So we absolutely want to help. It's really difficult, and life is really difficult, and it's getting harder. And I think we need each other more than ever now. We need unity more than ever now. It's not what anyone does to you, it's what you're doing to yourself. Nothing or no one is going to change who God made me to be. I've gone through this journey, and I thank God that I've still got a heart to help. It doesn't matter how much times anyone does something to me. I will never lower my energy and wish anyone wickedness. And I just bless and let, because I know what I put on the table. If I walk away, then the next good person you meet, you will look after them. Because life is short. Yes, Cuckoo, you can ask a question. So, letting go gives you the space to grow, and life will just flow. You no longer feel the need to control anything. You just, I don't know how to explain it, because I used to try and control life, and life controlled me. And so now I've learned to trust the process, the powers that be. I don't worry. I just face life, faults and all. I admit where I am. I'm accountable. I try to hold others accountable too. But it's up to them whether they acknowledge that or not. That's really none of my business. Other people, apart from trying to help you grow, I will help. But I can't do the work for you. You have to do that all yourself. Because there's always going to be obstacles, but you will become a world-class hurdler if you continue. And realize that the only thing that has stopped you is you. Because it's what you choose to believe. If people don't push themselves, they're not going to push you. I always push. I like to see people succeed. I like to see people in a good place. It makes me happy. So I've been here doing this. I don't know how. I don't know how I have managed to do this for so long, but I've persevered. And it will only get better in time. My live last week, the lighting wasn't right. People couldn't see me. I got a few comments, which I'm truly grateful for. So, letting go, right, Cuckoo, you said, what does letting go truly mean to me? So, letting go means knowing where the line is, knowing when things no longer serve. You can let go ahead of schedule, which means when you tune in and your heart feels that something isn't right, and you can let it go. But then people can often talk you back into a space, And when you let it go, when your heart tells you to, it's repairable. But when you let things go, especially friendships, when other people talk you back into something that your heart has told you not to do, and you let them talk you back into that, then things can go pear-shaped and things can be irreparable when it comes to relationships. But when it comes to clothes and letting go of, memories, really sad stories that you've told yourself and you've told anyone that will listen. So I think letting go of things like that gives you peace, because those things, when you think of them and they don't make you happy, why do you think of them? There are different ways of looking at things, because I believe there's positive and negative in everything. So let things go, but I think of the positives to everything. I was talking to a friend today, and she was saying that people are watching her. So she was quite upset. So I thought, are you not honoured? I said to her, you're not honoured because you haven't noticed them, but they've noticed you. So to me, that's a compliment, right? So it's a different way of looking at things. People talk about you because you're interesting. So as I gave you the scenario before, you can either take the negative or the positive. You can look at things negative or positive. I'm a positive person. I've been negative, and I was negative for longer than I should have been, but that was my journey. So now I'm positive. I pick the positives out of everything, because everything happens for a reason. And it's up to you if you're going to think of it in a negative way, which is going to drain your energy and anyone else who's listening to you, or you're going to think of it in a positive. So you can brush that off and you can sleep well at night, and you just keep going. And then whoever you talk to, you're just spreading that love. So it's all a matter of choices. I hope that answered your question, Cuckoo. So I think about the jobs, the people and places, things I outgrew years ago, but I still remained loyal to. Moments my voice got lost instead of heard. I was voiceless for many years, and now I refuse to be. You go to meetings, sit with people. There's people I've been around for years that really do not know my mindset. They're hearing me for the first time. And, when they hear my podcast, they're going to think, wow, I didn't know she thought that way, because I never had a voice. All I did was listen, nod, and put in the one or two odd words. But, and I didn't mind, because, they obviously needed to voice their opinion. And sometimes people just need comfort. So it's just about sitting with someone. Let them let that out of their system. Cry, talk. Little things cost nothing. I was walking down the road the other day. I met a guy. He was telling me, I realized he was homeless. And I was saying to him, have you tried StreetLink? Because they pick people off the street. Do you want me to call them for you? So he was saying, no, they're going to put him in a hostel. So I had to stop him in his tracks a little bit, because I said, what do you mean? So he said, he's not going in no hostel. I said, oh, so you're ready to just live the rest of your life on the street? So he said, no, he wants to. I said, well, there are stages that you have to take to get to where you want to be in life. There's a lot of things that we don't want to do, but we have to do to get to where we want to go. So look at the bigger picture. If you're in the hostel, you're only going to be there for a time before you get your flat. Then you will have your flat and you will have peace. And he was like, but he was trying to tell me about the people in there. So I said, forget the people in there. You're not in there for anybody else. You're in there for yourself. Just hold your head down and get on and do what you need to do to get to where you need to go. So, he decided, okay, he's going to go into a hostel, because sometimes we have to be realistic. He had to let go of that thought of not wanting to go into the hostel. But if he don't go in there, how is he going to reach his destination? So there's things that you have to let go of to grow. You have to put your pride aside. There are stages that we have to. A lot of us don't want to do a lot of things, but do we have a choice? There are things that we don't. Pick your battles. Let go of what really has no purpose in your life. And let you start to live lighter. Be realistic with your expectations. Let go of the things that cause you pain. It could be family, friends, anyone. If it doesn't bring you joy, let it go. Maybe not forever, but for now. Put your boundaries on. Protect your peace. Do you not deserve that? How can we achieve happiness despite all stress? Happiness comes from inside. I used to look out there for happiness and all I got was misery and grey hair. So I realized that happiness comes with stillness. How many people can actually sit still? Sit in silence, no noise. How many? Not many of us, right? But when you learn to appreciate silence and look at when you wake up, say, thank you, God. I have a roof over my head. I've got food in my cupboard. I'm blessed. What more do we really need? We're too busy looking outside. When you go within, that's where your happiness is. That's where my happiness is. It's not out there. There is nothing out there that I want. I've learned to appreciate the simple things in life. Little things. There's nothing at all that I feel I'm lacking. I'm open for growth. I want to know more. I will be happy living a basic. So a lot of stresses come from looking at other people and what they're showing you. Is it real? Or is it what they want you to see and what they want you to believe? Because, no, I definitely have learned that happiness comes from inside. You drown out all the noise and you start listening to the beats of your heart. Because God is trying to tell you something. I was so distracted. I never sat down. I was on my phone. I did that. My phone hardly rings now. I'm happy every day. I sit down, I chill. When I'm busy because there are so many people out there in need. And let me tell you, so many people sit in their own misery instead of reaching out and helping someone. You know that song, reach out and touch somebody's hand, make this world a better place if you can. So yes, that's what I do. I reach out. One, it takes me away from my own misery that I used to have. Now I don't really have any. So when I see people in it, I go and I do the best I can to help who I can. So I'm too busy trying to comfort people, to let people know that your life has a meaning. You have a purpose. God is, you're not here for no reason. It's not about what anyone else thinks. It's about what you think. So let go of that negativity. It's all about you and what you want and what you believe is your destiny. What makes you happy? Because, it's about stress. I don't stress. I'm not going to lie. Yes, I stress. I'm a human. But I don't stress. This causes me stress. I'm talking quite fast because I'm out of my comfort zone. So this causes me stress. But there's not many things that cause me stress. the channel was built from stress. I've channeled that stress into progress. So it's how you interpret things, how you want to. Stress is your mindset, cuckoo. Stress is what you believe is out there. A lot of what we see is not true. A lot of what we were taught was not true. One of the things we were never taught to communicate. We were never taught to believe in ourselves. At school, were we ever praised? I was called dunce, retarded. I learnt to read very late in life. I wet my bed until I was 14. And so I grew up really insecure. But I'm secure now because I had to find me. Nobody else could have done that for me. No one can do the work for you. You have to do the work. And you will do the work. I'm here to let you know that you can do the work and you will do the work. You deserve peace, right? Okay. All right. I hope that answers your question, Cuckoo. Right, Libs Capri. How do we decipher who, what, and when to let go of something, someone? When it feels uncomfortable. I think when you've tried, you try and you continue to try. And you have to know where your boundaries lie. You have to know where that line is. Because, as I said, if you don't know when to let go, you will disturb your own peace. You will give yourself stress. You will raise your own blood pressure. So I really think that you have to find where that line is. If you can see it, please don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Follow your heart. You have to learn to listen to your heart. People talk, but it's your life, and you're the only person that can make that decision. So, and it's also changing the way, as I said previously, it's your mindset. Change your mindset. You're not needy. What do you need? Is it a need or is it a want? What is it? You have to ask yourself the questions. Why are you holding on? What is it you're struggling with? Why are you struggling? How can you overcome this fear? What is it that you think is the worst that's going to happen if you let go? There's loads of questions. I'm a curious person, so I ask loads and loads of questions. I ask myself loads of questions because that's how I healed. That's how I got the answers that I needed to have in life. Without asking questions, I wouldn't have had answers. So I really am truly grateful to the powers that be that led me. And it was meditation. I learned to sit in silence. I learned to listen. There are some meditations that I want to share, but I just don't know how to. That just teach you about love and teach you about treating people how you would like to be treated. So, and I listen to those. And forgiveness and things like that. It's not just about forgiving others, it's about forgiving yourself. Because when you learn to forgive yourself, you will live lighter. And life for me, I can't believe where I am and how I am. I've come a long way. And when I wake up happy, I have to pinch myself sometimes to see if this is real. Because the happiness is just in there. It doesn't matter what I'm going through. I'm still, when I think of it, I think, oh. But then the happiness is just there. It's like the happiness has taken over the misery now. So I know if I can do it, you can too. I know that. So, A lot of relationships are surviving on history, not honesty. And who told us that we have to suffer because we of the familiar? What makes you think you can't start again or do things from scratch? Because of course you can. It's just up to you and your mind and to think of what it is that you want. So letting go feels different every time. Sometimes it's dramatic. A door can close for good. Sometimes it's subtle. No longer explaining, no longer chasing, attracting, no longer negotiating your worth. Why? Why are you negotiating who you are? Why do we answer these questions to people? What makes them think they have the right to question us? Why? And why should we have to justify our own feelings? Why? And the worst thing is, they wouldn't like you to ask those questions. So why are they asking you or us? Life is so complicated. So you can uncomplicate it with a few little things. So uncomplicate it because you can. I'm always going to tell you that you can. It's your life and you are worth much more. Dig deep and reach for your goals. What does your heart want? What do you need to let go of to reach your destination? I'm having to let go of a lot of things. A lot of it's painful. It's costing me sleep at night because how am I going to reach my goal? If I didn't cut a lot of people, I wouldn't be here because I wouldn't have had the time. But I've had to pick, choose and refuse because I have goals and I have dreams. And this government is so unpredictable that I have to start making a way where there is no way. Because as an old ex-offender, no one wants me. I apply for jobs, I don't get them. So it's time I start believing in myself. And I am definitely going to encourage you to start believing in yourself too. So, I'm learning what no longer serves me so I can leave quietly. Things leave you when you stop feeding it. Stop doing things for it. When you're tired of being tired, you finally choose to rest over resistance. Letting go is an invitation into the unknown. Do you have the courage to challenge yourself? And that's what I'm going to leave you with. I want to thank you so much for your precious time. I really appreciate you. There's some silent people in here. I would love to hear from you. Tell me what you think. What do you think? Are you guys happy with Tuesdays, 8 o'clock, or would you like me to change the time? I'm here for you. So you have to let me know what works and what don't. Okay? Because together we're going to grow, we're going to shine, and we're going to make things work. Okay? So thank you very much. And remember, letting go is an invitation into the unknown. Keep growing. Thank you. Stay blessed and have a wonderful week.